Let's make liquid detergent. This is specially formulated for fabric, like washing of clothes. So, and to formulate this, we are going to need baking soda. I know you might be wondering what is baking soda looking for in liquid detergent. In the course of this production, you are going to understand what exactly baking soda is doing in this soap production. So let's get started. And for this production, we are going to be making just 2.5 liters. So that is the quantity of water needed that I'm adding into my mixing bowl. So 2.5 liters of water. Then after that, I'll go ahead and measure the quantity of baking soda needed. However, it is important for you to know that there is difference between baking soda and baking powder. So please be sure you are buying the right thing. So another name for baking soda is bicarbonate of soda. Bicarbonate of soda. So when you get to people that are selling baking and stuff in the market, you can easily get it. So for our baking soda, we need just 20 grams. And after measuring, I'll pour it into a container and set it aside. Please note, I did not dissolve it. I only pour it and set aside. So we'll measure the next chemical, which is our SLS, sodium lauryl sulfate. SLS is a surfactant and a foaming agent in this production. So I'll go ahead and measure the quantity of SLS, sodium lauryl sulfate, different from SLES, please. So I'll measure just 50 grams for this particular production. Please make sure you get the right chemicals, the original one. Do not get inferior chemicals. This might affect the outcome of your soap. So I'll go ahead and add some quantity of water into a bowl. This water was taken from the 2.5 liters of water measured. So I took about 500 ml, pour it into a different container, then I will add my SLS into it, then stir it before we continue with other preparation. Please, is advisable you stir before you set aside and allow to like dissolve completely on its own. So whenever you are making liquid soap, you don't need to like be in a hurry. Everything is a step at a time. So just stir as you see me do. Then when you stir it, you can actually set it aside and continue with some other stuff. Then we are going to measure our next chemical, which is our caustic soda. Caustic soda, we help us like to clean more better, like as a cleaning agent in this production. But if you don't want to use caustic soda, you can substitute with either soda ash or STTP. So you can use any of the two in place of caustic soda. So, but for my own, I'm using caustic soda. And for my caustic soda, I would need just 20 grams of caustic soda. Just 20 grams is enough. So after that, I'll go ahead and take some quantity of water from the 2.5 liters of water measured, add it into a bowl, then add your caustic soda into it, stir it also, and set it aside to dissolve. However, I will advise you that whenever you are working with these chemicals, make sure you work in an open environment and make sure your nose is well covered. It is not advisable to inhale some of these chemicals. Also, make sure you put on your hand glove because some of these chemicals are corrosive. Like this caustic soda, if you fill this container after adding it to water, like fill it from the outside, you will notice that it is very hot. And when you add it into water, it change the color of the water, like the water become milky. Can you see it? So please do not do these things with your bare hands. Make sure you work in an open environment. It is very, very important. So let's move on to the next thing. Now, the next thing I'm going to dissolve is my color. Please note the two chemicals I measured earlier are not just the chemicals we need for this production. There are still other chemicals we will need. So we are just doing it a step at a time. So I'll go ahead and dissolve my color. So looking at it physically, you are seeing ash, right? But adding it to water, it changes to green. So that is one of the reasons why you need to like dissolve your color separately so that you can know what you have there. Either it is the color you want, or maybe it is water soluble or oil soluble color. If you don't dissolve it, you might not know. And it is not advisable for you to add the color directly into your soap. Please do not do that. That can affect the outcome of what you've been doing. as in the outcome of your soap. So just dissolve it and set it aside separately before you continue. So this is our SLS and our caustic soda. So they are still not totally ready. So we'll go ahead to do the next thing. Now we are going to dissolve our citric acid. Now for this production, our citric acid helps to balance the pH, soften our water like if we are using hard water. And for the citric acid, just 3 grams is okay. In fact, 2 to 3 grams is okay. Then add it to the water also, stir it and set it aside. So now let's go and check our SLS. Can you see it? It is ready, and our caustic soda not only dissolved, but it has totally cooled down. Please do not use it when it is hot. It can fry every other chemical you are combining together. So after that, I go ahead to add my baking soda into the remaining quantity of water in the bowl. Don't forget that all other chemicals that was dissolved, we took the water from the 2.5 liters from the bowl. Add your caustic soda into the water and mix very well. Make sure it combines very well with the water before you add another thing to it. So after mixing it very well, the next thing I will add is my caustic soda. Now, look at this. This is just baking soda and caustic soda. So can you see that it's giving you like that bubble effect already? Just those two chemicals. That's what I've mixed together. So please make sure you mix together very well before you add any other thing. So after mixing it together, then we'll go ahead and add the next chemical to it. And the next chemical I'm adding is my SLS, my sodium lauryl sulfate. If today is your first time of coming across my channel, you are mostly welcome. Please do well to join this wonderful family by hitting the subscribe button. Put on your notification bell so that whenever I upload new video, you get notified. And to all my returning subscribers, I sincerely want to appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for always coming back to watch and like my video. So this is me still mixing my SLS with my other chemicals. After adding each chemical, it takes time for you to mix. So the next thing we are going to add is our sulfonic acid. Please note, sulfonic is different from sulfuric. So be sure of what you are using, and we get the quantity of sulfonic acid needed for this production. Our sulfonic acid also is a surfactant in this production. It helps to like improve foaming and cleaning of your detergent. So you see the quantity I measured for my sulfonic acid. So after that, mix your soap very well again before you start adding the sulfonic acid into it. So this is me going to add my sulfonic acid into my soap. If you notice, I didn't pour any of my chemical at once. I'm adding it gradually and mixing. This is very, very important. Please, to my returning subscribers and the new ones, don't forget to like this video. So I'm showing you what you should have. Can you see it? Like I use that cup to like take up some quantity from the soap. So you should not have lump. So the next thing we are going to add now is our citric acid. So I'm going to add it to the production. And the citric acid will also like prevent your soap from forming scum, like from going bad. Then we are going to go in with our salt. Yes, the normal cooking salt we use at home. If you don't have this type of salt, you can use sodium sulfate. But if you have this, then you go for this. So I'm going to like measure the quantity needed for these 2.5 liters. Now, our salts will act as additional cleansing agent, a thickener, and also another preservative, and also help to balance the pH of the soap. So we are using 80 grams of salt, cooking salt. So I will start adding it gradually into my soap. Now, for the baking soda acts as a catalyst to boost the effect, like the cleaning effect of other chemicals. Like it's act like a booster, improve their function. And apart from that, due to its alkaline nature, the baking soda helps to like soften the water, balance the pH of our soap. And apart from that, it helps to absorb unpleasant odors from your fabric, leaving your fabric smelling fresh and clean. So after adding your salt, you should have something like this. Please do not pour the salt into it at once. Add it gradually. The reason is your salt might be more potent than mine, or might not even be as potent as mine, depending on how you've exposed the salt to hair. So just add gradually. Once it gets thick, stop adding. So this is me taking some quantity of the soap into a different container. Now, I will not advise you to add your color directly to your mixture or your perfume, because some of these things, depending on their brand, they are very, very strong and can break down everything you've like mixed together. So it's advisable you just take a little quantity separately, add your color, your fragrance to it, and mix very well before introducing it back into your soap. Please, if you have not liked this video at this point, kindly give it a like. Don't forget to share with your loved ones. And if you have not subscribed, kindly join this family. So, and our baking soda also acts as extra cleansing agent. So, due to its abrasiveness. So, can you see that what we are combining together, they are super? And our cooking salt also help to retain the natural color of your fabric. Like, it doesn't allow your fabric to fade away. Yes. Now, for baking soda and cooking salt, they will not bleach your clothes except you use it in excess, like the excessiveness. So it is important that whenever you are working with any of these things, make sure you work with measurement. It is very, very important. Hmm? Very, very important. So add your color, your perfume, and everything back, like the one you've mixed separately, add it back to the main production. Give it a very good mix. Please, at each stage, it is important you mix very well. So this is me transferring the soap into a container that has a lid, so that I will cover it and keep it in a cool, dry environment and allow it to settle down before I come back to show you what it look like. Please make sure that you don't keep your soap close to heat source or other direct sunlight. Now, after settling down, this is the outcome of our detergent. Can you see it? Guys, I kid you not, this cleanses so well. I use this in washing of fabric, and it cleanses so well. So one of the reasons why your soap might come out too watery after making, like you make it is very, very thick, but later you notice it's watery. Please check where you keep the soap. Maybe it's close to heat source or other direct sunlight. So this is me adding water to the container I use in keeping my soap, just to show you how well our foam lathers. And can you see it? So for that small container, I added about 2 liters of water just for you to see it. If it is a soap that will not lather for long, by now those bubbles ought to have like dispersed into the water, like mixed with the water. Can you see it? But it's still standing strong, right? Can you see it? So it's not dispersing. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video to this very end. Please note, if you want to do anything at home, work with your measurements. Do not guess and make sure you mix properly. Thank you so much. See you in my next video. Bye.